This is the Galaxy S20 Ultra. We've been anticipating this smartphone since late last year through all the leaks and whatnot, and today we are finally giving our full in-depth review of this phone right here. And it is placed above the Galaxy S whatever number Plus series, and this is the highest in the hierarchy of Samsung flagship smartphones overall. So this is what we have to say about the Galaxy S20 Ultra. Starting off, the box itself, what you get is pretty simple. You only get the phone itself, a AKG to USB Type-C earphone with a built-in DAC, and then you also get the 25-watt charger with a USB Type-C to Type-C charger, just like the Galaxy Note 10 from last year. Oh, and you also get the silicone case here, which is really useful because it does provide a protective lip around the camera bump at the back of the phone. And for the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra itself, by design, I can see and feel that this is a much thicker phone compared to last generation of Galaxy S smartphones. And that is for a pretty good reason, I would say, because it packs in a lot of new hardware, cutting-edge hardware, into this body. So you also get a 5000 mAh battery, which is kind of acceptable if they have such a large body after all, because I would much rather carry a thicker phone than a power bank. And this phone actually feels a lot like the Asus Zenfone 3 Zoom from a few years ago. That was also a rather thick phone with a 5000 mAh battery. And some people might be concerned with the even thicker camera bump at the back of the phone here. And I would say that it's not much of a problem because Samsung did include a silicone case with a protective lip around the camera, like what we mentioned just now. Or if you just don't want to use a case, you can put the phone down, facing downwards, and the camera lens will not be touching the surface of the table. So you are safe on that, but still, do not leave your phone like this and then go scrub around the table. Samsung also moved the power button and the volume rocker to the right side of the phone, which is in contrast with the Note 10 series from last year, which had all the buttons on the left side. So for those who are coming from the Note series, then yeah, it does take some time to get used to it. And Samsung also removed the Bixby button in favor of the customizable power button, which it is called side button right now. And you can go into the settings menu and change what it does as shown here. Looking around the phone itself, the only port available for you is the USB Type-C port at the bottom. There is no more headphone jack, and that is why we recommend you to use the included AKG earphones, which is a Type-C port, so just plug it in and it works. Or you have to get an external DAC like this one, the Sonata HD by Tempotech, which is compatible with both audio out and audio in, so you can use your microphone as well. The Galaxy S20 Ultra, just like its predecessors, is still IP68 dust and water resistant, and I like it because I can wash the phone if it gets too grimy. But please do not bring this phone into your scuba diving trip and you'll be fine. As for the display of the Galaxy S20 Ultra, this time around, they're still using the dynamic AMOLED display, but now they have an extra 2x at the end of the name here. The 2x here, I would presume that it means double the refresh rate of before, because Samsung outright just skipped 90Hz and jumped straight from 60Hz all the way to 120Hz. So this phone right here and all of the Galaxy S20 series is capable of running 2K display at 60fps or 1080p at 120fps. This display is also having that Infinity O notch at the center top of the phone here. Another interesting thing that we have to point out is the lack of curvature on the screen itself. So when we had our hands-on session with the Galaxy S20 series, we realized that all of the three phones does not have that curved edge like the Galaxy S and Note series like last year. And I would say that I'm very impartial about that. It's curved or not, I don't really care. But if it's this flat, that means I can easily find tempered glass screen protectors for this phone, which is the problem I had with the Galaxy S10 Plus, which I am using right now. But fret not, as Samsung also included a high quality film screen protector right off the box for the Galaxy S20 Ultra. So now for the cameras on the Galaxy S20 Ultra, which is again the most anticipated part of this Galaxy S series of smartphone. So I won't bore you with the specs, I'll just leave them right here. The most notable highlight here is the 108 megapixel sensor for the main camera and also the 100x zoom for its periscope lens. So starting off with the 108 megapixel camera, it takes clear images and has insane level of details, which actually can replace macro cameras outright because I can take 108 megapixel pictures and then crop in to get that kind of macro sense. Since I like textures so much, here's a picture of a dog's nose taken at 108 megapixel and then cropped in. And the images and clarity turned out great, and it also has HDR enabled, which is the first smartphone to have 108 megapixel images with HDR enabled. By the way, the 108 megapixel can also use night mode to take night shots, so here's the result of it. And then comes the zooming part of this phone. So the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra can take up to 10 times hybrid optical zoom and then up to 100 times digital zoom. So from what I can see right here, up to 10 times hybrid zoom, it actually looks very good. Anything beyond that is starting to go into the digital zoom territory, and the software is doing a lot of hard work into bringing all the details out because we are entering computational photography territory right here. With that said, let's take a look at this picture right here. I've taken it in 1x zoom, and then I zoom all the way in with 100 times zoom, and you can see that the text is still very readable. As for the ultra wide angle camera, well, Samsung has decreased the field of view from 123 degrees down to 120 degrees, and we do realize that there is a tighter field of view right here, but the ultra wide angle camera can still produce very nice images right out of the box, with less distortion now actually, which is something that I really like. And we should also mention that the Galaxy S20 Ultra comes with a 40 megapixel selfie camera with autofocus, and it is still the only flagship smartphone that has autofocusing selfie camera, and we can take very sharp selfies. When it comes to video recording, the Samsung Galaxy S20 series can take up to 8K at 24 FPS, which we have a demonstration and we'll link it at the top right corner there. We can just pause the video and then we can take a screenshot and everything still looks very nice. And that is a plus point of taking videos of up to 8K and then cropping it down to 1080p as well. It's for that sharpness. And the new Super Steady also combines OIS and EIS to provide a gimbal-like motion. However, what we found out is that it is still using the ultra-wide angle camera, so we do not have autofocusing. So if you want to take videos indoors with the Super Steady, it will kind of appear pixelated, so it is only good for outdoors when it comes to sports or whatnot. Okay, so now it's time for performance. I won't bore you with the specs, I'll just leave all of them right here. And the Galaxy S20 Ultra is, as usual, going to top your benchmark charts in this test. And we actually did two separate benchmarks right here. So the first one is going to be using 1080p 60 FPS on the Galaxy S20 Ultra and compared with all of the other smartphones. And then the second set of benchmarks will be comparing the Galaxy S20 itself with different resolutions and refresh rates. So the first set of benchmarks is as shown here. There are no surprises, it is still going to top our benchmark charts. And then the second set of benchmarks is where a few interesting things start to happen. In particularly, I want to highlight one benchmark, which is VRMark. So within VRMark itself, there are actually 2 points of data that are presented to us. Firstly is the score, which is totally broken because the score scales accordingly to the frame rate that your phone has. If you have only 60Hz, then your score will be very low. If you have 120Hz, then somehow your score will be way overboard. So we scrapped that data, and in turn, we actually took another set of data, which is the average frame rate that is presented in the VRMark benchmark results. So within this average frame rate, we can finally see a tangible difference between its resolution and refresh rate. So the Galaxy S20 Ultra, even with the highest end chipset right now, it is still not capable of maintaining 120Hz within VRMark's benchmark, which is the same case as the Asus ROG Phone 2, by the way. As for the software side of things, the Galaxy S20 Ultra comes with Samsung's One UI 2.1, and I find it kind of funny because we did find the per game refresh rate selection menu in the Galaxy Fold and also the Galaxy Note 8 actually, but it is not present for the Galaxy S20 Ultra. We did ask Samsung what's happening here, and we do predict that Samsung will provide a software update further down the line, which brings this important feature into the Galaxy S20 series. And just like what we said for the Asus ROG Phone 2, per game refresh rate selection is important in terms of battery life balance and also your gaming experience. So as for the battery life of the Galaxy S20 Ultra, it does come with a 5000 mAh battery, which I really like. And in our battery life benchmark, it can last for over 12 hours, which is magnificent. And when we compare the Galaxy S20 Ultra's battery life with itself in different resolutions and refresh rate, we can see that once we scale it up to 120Hz, the battery life just tanks. It drops to about 8 hours something in our test. So as of now, there is no reason for 2K 120Hz refresh rate to exist because your chipset and your battery life will still hold you back. The Asus ROG Phone 2, which has a 1080p 120Hz refresh rate, is also suffering the same battery constraint as the Galaxy S20 Ultra, which is just a common trait when it comes to high refresh rate displays for a battery-powered device. As for the charging time, well, do remember that the Galaxy S20 Ultra comes with a 5000 mAh battery and it can charge from 15 to 100% in just an hour, which I think is amazing. So you can just plug it in for a while and you get quite a lot of battery life out of this phone. So in conclusion, the Galaxy S20 Ultra is a showcase of technological prowess by Samsung, and for the price of 4,999 ringgit. Yes, it is not cheap, but that is the price you have to pay if you want to live at the bleeding edge of smartphone technology. And do remember that you can own this phone, put it in your pocket and take it wherever you go because it has a very large battery, 100 times zoom if you want to do that. And then yeah, it also has very high refresh rate on a smartphone with the performance to match. And that is all we have to say about the Galaxy S20 Ultra. If you have any questions, do leave them down in the comment section below. We will answer them whenever we can. And do subscribe for more videos like the Galaxy Buds. And we'll see you next time.